Thank you. Okay, I'd like to welcome everyone to the 2017 Middle School Fall Sports Recognition Assembly. It's been another good year for sports here in our middle school with all of our teams. We're going to recognize student athletes for their efforts and achievements in the following sports: boys and girls cross country, golf, football, volleyball, and boys and girls tennis. Now, fifth graders, this is your first assembly, first recognition assembly. So what we ask is that when you happen to be on your team, the first one called up, I'm going to ask you to walk all the way to my right, your left, as far around to the end, because some of the teams here, we have quite a few numbers. We're then going to announce our two award winners from each of the two programs. Okay, at this time, I think many of you know that we've been missing somebody for a few weeks now. Okay? She's home resting well. But, courtesy of Mr. Sparks, we're streaming this and videotaping the whole assembly so that we can send it to her and she can watch it at times. So you better be on your best behavior this morning. So, we'd like to give a big shout out to Mrs. McGree. So everyone turn around back there where Mr. Sparks is and wave. Say, hey, Mrs. McGree! Wish you were here. Okay. Special thanks to our two biggest cheerleaders, Mr. Eustace and, of course, Mrs. McGree is watching us right now. My assistant, Richard Holland, and Mrs. Compton in the middle school office, Mr. Spratt and his crew, the teachers, student body. It's really, that's what makes me feel so good working here, is when I get to see you all, how you interact and support each other in all of our contests. So kudos to all of you. Our trainer, Emily Strabino, who's come in and done a wonderful job after we lost Bonnie. Booster Club, our team parents, and of course our coaches. Eric Miller, Mo Bailey, Myron Hunt, Melissa Gorda, Ryan Coe, Richard Highland, Mary Claire Regan, Chuck Bissell, Chuck Mason, and Ryan Batchelor. Thank you very much for what you did. Okay, without further ado, I'd like to introduce Richard Holland with middle school football.
Thanking all the people who made this season possible for these young men. Mr. Eustace, Mrs. McCree, Coach Holodak, Coach Batchelor, Coach Miller, Coach Rayburn, Coach Dawson, our athletic trainer, Emily Strabino, our team mom, Mrs. Friedman, our meal sponsor, the Dupree family, our team managers, Madison and Amy, and all the parents and anyone else who I forgot. I'm sorry if I missed you. Without your hard work, love, and support, this season would not have been possible. At this time, I would like to go ahead and call up our 2017 middle school football team and ask Coach Miller to join me on stage. 8th grader, Jackson Dupree. 8th grader, TJ Rechtenwald. 8th grader, Amaya Sharma. 7th grader, Eli Brown. 7th grader, Ethan Fender. 7th grader, Daniel Hubert. 7th grader, Max Marley. 7th grader, Sean Metcalf. 7th grader, Camden Barada. 7th grader, Paige Trapp. 6th grader, Evan Friedman. 6th grader, Gerald Beans Hunt. 6th grader, Liam Reardon. 6th grader, Seth Williamson. And probably our two most valuable people on the team, managers Madison Hubert and James Trapp. This year's team was faced with some very big obstacles before the season even started. First, the previous year's team had 10 8th graders, 8 of which started both ways. These slots had to be filled. Second, this year's team was young, and 8 of the team's 14 players had never played football before. Nonetheless, these young men stepped up and took on the challenge. They often played older, more experienced teams, but never backed down. All players started at least one way, and some never came off the field. Under the leadership of Namai Sharma and Sean Metcalf, who were nominated by their teammates as team captains for the season, the team came together and formed a special bond. A former player remarked after their scrimmage against Westminster that they play more as a team than older and more experienced teams often do. Each member of this team has pushed themselves and each other so that everyone can become a better player. At this time, I would like to recognize two young men for all their hard work this season. As you know, we give 2 awards each year, and I could give 2 awards to each young man on this stage for numerous reasons. This year, our first recipient receives our Most Improved Award. It's hard to ask a football player to come out his first year and start. It's even harder when you ask him to start at quarterback. And it's even harder when you ask him to start at quarterback with a whole new offense that you're implementing. Nonetheless, this young man did that, excelled, did his very best, led the team, and never backed down from any challenge. He also became one of our hardest hitters on the team. This year's Most Improved Award goes to Camden Parada. Our second award is the Coach's Award. The Coach's Award goes to the young man who displays the things that coaches look for the most. Coachability, putting the team over himself, hard work, and discipline. This young man's been with us for 3 years now. He's played receiver and defensive back for all of his career. And this year we said, we're going to move you to offensive line and defensive end. He never once batted an eyelid, never once complained about it, got in there and did everything to the best of his ability. Received compliments from other coaches on how hard it was to block him and how well he blocked. This year's Coach's Award goes to Daniel Hubert. In closing, I would like to thank the 8th graders for all your hard work and your willingness to come out this year. I'll truly miss you guys next season. To the younger players, I challenge you guys to work hard in the off-season and get better for next year. To all of you out there who are curious about football, I encourage you to talk to these young men about how much fun they had and how much they learned through the course of the season, and then come join us next season. The 2017 Middle School Augusta Prep Football Team.
Okay, next up, we're going to recognize middle school boys and girls cross country. As some of you know, Mrs. Gordon had to leave for New York to deal with some family matters up there, so she's unable to be here today. So Mr. Bland and myself are going to tag team and introducing all of you and handing out our award winners this morning.
In addition to Coach Gordon not being able to be here, assistant coaches were Ryan Batchelor and Mary Claire Regan, and they have regrets for not being able to be here also. We're going to start with the boys. As you know, or may not know, there's a bunch of athletes. So when you come on stage, go as far as you can, guys, and then we'll get you all up here. So we'll start with 8th grader Peyton Baggett, 8th grader Stephen Joseph, 8th grader Ben Monig, 8th grader Will Monig, 8th grader Jimmy Reardon, 7th grader Lee Dozier, 7th grader Sean Henson, 7th grader Max Marley, 7th grader Hayes Trout, 7th grader Jacob Yeager, 6th grader Hester Cornelia, 6th grader Shin Hatcher, 6th grader Gerald Hunt, 6th grader Abel Meyer, 6th grader Hank Monig, 6th grader Zonner Reynolds, 6th grader Tanner Rush, 6th grader Rashan Tamalan, Sixth grader Isaac Thomas. Sixth grader Carter Worley. Fifth grader Daniel Baggy. Fifth grader Galen Bobro Goss. Fifth grader Seth Krausen. Fifth grader Sam Dozier. Fifth grader Cameron Cornelier. Fifth grader Denver Hubert. And fifth grader Xavier Hustis. All right, moving on to the young ladies. Eighth grader Brianna Chichuli. Eighth grader Taylor Hunt. Eighth grader Mary Margaret Barbie. Eighth grader Kavya Menon. Eighth grader Amy Reardon. Eighth grader Ava Yeager. Seventh grader Vera Chachki. Seventh grader Gabriella Farmer. Sixth grader Nacha Ramanathan. Sixth grader Angela Sunny. Sixth grader Annie Trapp. Sixth grader Abby Watson. Fifth grader Anna Blankenship. Fifth grader Jada Hatcher. Fifth grader Malia Hunt. Fifth grader Hannah Kelly. Fifth grader Tanisha Kumar. Fifth grader Sophie Marley. And fifth grader Reina Patel. Yeah, boys, come on down.
Okay, thank you. Okay, I want to thank everyone here today to recognize our wonderful athletes. Let me start by apologizing for not being here today myself. I had to fly home at the last minute. I'd like to thank the following people for supporting me throughout the season. My assistant coaches, Coach Regan and Coach Batchelor. Without them, it would have been very difficult to have practice and definitely not as efficient. Also, Coach White and Mrs. Compton for informing faculty and parents weekly. Additionally, my team moms, Mrs. Marley and Mrs. Rogers, who scheduled all parents for each meet and snacks. And finally, to all my parents who are taking off every Thursday afternoon to work the chute, front gate, cut through, sand pit, ribbons, and taking names. Not one meet would have been possible without you. Also, a big shout out to Grace Ellis for helping me at every meet too. Now to celebrate our 2017 cross country team. I wish I had the time to talk about every athlete and their accomplishments, but even if I kept it to 30 seconds per child, I would still use the entire time. So I thought about the best adjectives that describe this team as a whole. Dedicated, positive, supportive, and enthusiastic. Every runner made a PR personal record, not only once, but multiple times. Furthermore, they improved their times not merely by seconds, but instead by minutes. We had many runners who played tennis, football, soccer, and swimming, but still gave his and her 100% on meet days. The captains picked 2 teammates for the Cavalier Award, and they are Shin Hatcher and Annie Trapp. And our most improved awards go to Anna Blankenship and Cameron Fornell. I believe we have 50 individuals up here, so wonderful job, all of you, for your efforts throughout the whole season. Hopefully, we'll see a lot of you out back next year. And 8th graders, we can't wait to get you out next year with the varsity program. This is your 2017 boys and girls champions. Next up is Coach Chuck Mason with middle school golf.
Good morning. My name is Chuck Mason. I'm the coach of the middle school golf team. And I was very proud of our golf team this year. We were primarily getting people ready for the varsity in a couple of years. And they're going to be quite a team at that time. But we had, I think, the best score of one tournament that we played, one match we played in, we'd had in a long time. And these kids worked very hard. And golf is not like other sports. It's so much of the game is feel. You can't lay your clubs down and just pick them up 3 or 4 weeks later and play the same way. You have to do it all the time. And when people get injured or things happen to them, they can't play every day in practice, they're not going to play as well as somebody that is playing and practicing every day. But with that said, I'd like to recognize our team. Torn adopted.
Don't worry about it.
I can never pronounce Porter's last name correctly. But Porter might be the best athlete we had. Unfortunately, she was injured earlier in the year, and she wasn't able to play in the first 2 or 3 matches. But she's quite an athlete, and she'll excel at anything she tries. 8th grader Mia Sessa. Ham Harrington, 6th grade. Locke Harrington, 6th grade. Jefferson Murray, 6th grader. And Hugh Beard, 6th grade. We had, each one of these kids you could give an award to, so I had a pretty difficult time deciding which 2 I was going to give the award to. Hugh Beard probably improved more than anybody on the team. He came from basically starting with 0, and when he finished, he was a pretty good player. He was a force to be reckoned with. But Hugh, I classify golf swings as mechanical and natural. And Hugh has one of the more natural swings I've ever seen. And if he keeps playing and keeps working, he's going to be quite a force. Jefferson Murray. Jefferson was born with good touch. He's probably the best putter on the team. And when he grows a little bit, he's going to be a force to be reckoned with. Locke Harrington. Locke has a good swing, hits the ball very well. He has a little trouble around the greens, and if we can get him to improve that in the next couple of years, he's going to be quite a good player, one of the best around. Ham is way ahead of his time. fact, I've had other people ask me, who is that kid over there? And I tell them, and they said, boy, he's going to be a player. I said, you got to be right about that. And then Mia Sessa, Mia has the, Mia probably hits the ball farther and has the best golf swing on the team. And, but she needs to work on a putting. The first day of the league championship up at Woodside, I think Florida hit almost every green. Mia hit almost every green. But she three-putted about 6 or 7 times. I felt so sorry for her. And the next day when we came over to Forest Hills, we got out here and worked on the putting a little bit, and she was, well, she shot 38. And anyway, I'm giving the coaches award, but that's Down Harrington. That's actually Harrington. I used to play with his grandfather, and I started calling him Harrington way back here because he putted so badly. The Cavalier Award, we give it to Mia. She was... Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, this is our 2017 middle school golf tour.
Next up is Coach Bailey and Coach Hunt with middle school girls volleyball.
All right, hey, good morning.
Good morning.
First of all, special thanks to Coach Holodeck, Richard Holland, Coach Bailey for taking me under her wing and teaching me all she knows. The students, teachers, and admin who came out and supported us. And Mimi, our bus driver, probably the most fired up lady you ever meet in your life. She gets us back and forth. And Pitcock Chiropractic Incorporated. I'd also like to thank the parents and the 10 ladies that made up the B+ team. As I look out over the audience and I see Sofia Pitcock, and I think about the drop from last year, I have moved on from that day. I've moved on from that day at St. Mary's Augusta and stand before you a better man. The 10 young ladies that I had the pleasure of coaching this year made me proud and gave me 100% every day. We were undefeated at home and ended up with a 6-2 record, with our only losses coming to St. Mary's Aiken and St. Mary's Augusta. The highlights of our season were sweeping EDS, Meade Hall, and then finishing with a win against St. Mary's Aiken at home. Our girls responded beautifully, and with every defensive call, whether it be War Eagle, Mad Dog, 316, or just our base defense, Blue 42. This time I'd like to bring up our ladies. Maya Patel, Lila Pitcock, Tamara Roden, Caroline Smith, Mary Weather, Breslin Shia, Emily Brooke, Paola Ramirez, Emery Thakor, Ava Weiss, and Beatty Joseph. Our heart and soul of the team had to be Ava Weiss. This kid, hey. they say dynamite comes in small packages. Well, after coaching her, I agree. She has the best attitude I've ever seen, and also has a smile on her face, and has one of the best pivots you'll ever see. This time she'd like to, demonstrate that for you. Okay. I love that kid. All right, one of the toughest parts, you heard the other coach talk about is awards and giving out awards. And then I guess in the day and age where everybody gets an award and everybody gets a trophy, it makes it even tougher. So this year I decided to only give out one award. And if you came to one of our games, you would see this young lady flying around the court making plays. She was our most consistent server, and she never came off the court. Coach Bailey's going to love having her on the A team next year. This year's Cavalier Award goes to Breslin. Sofia. Hey, I'm horrible. It's shock. I don't know. This is the most uncomfortable I've ever been in my life. So, here's your 2017-18 B+ girls volleyball team.
As you can see, we never have a dull moment in volleyball, games or practices. I know you never knew we had a B+ volleyball team, and they are well deserved. Anyhow, I'm going to speak about the A+ girls volleyball team today. And good morning. I'd like to start to thank a few people. Again, we can't do what we do without Tom Holodeck for scheduling our games, getting our officials, and scheduling our buses. Maintenance, they go beyond keeping our courts and locker rooms clean and ready for action every day. Coach Hunt, just because he's Coach Hunt, always being there for us and the girls. Again, never dull moment. The Booster Club for the undertaking the concession stand and all that they do to support our athletic teams. Thank you to the parents who volunteer to work the concession stand. It's always nice to see your smiling faces and well-stocked food back there. Thank you to those who volunteered to cover the gate for the home games. You, the parents, for allowing your children to participate in Augusta Prep Athletics. We do what we do because of y'all, so thank you so much. I'd also like to thank Mr. Burek, I don't know if he's here, and Ms. Rosenblum, because they can call lines like nobody's business. You put that flag in their hand, they're like crazy women and men. They're on it. So I'm gonna be sad to see them go, but I may have to schedule for our tournament next year or something. And lastly, I'd like to thank our Friday afternoon practice squads. If you played with us on a Friday, will you stand up? This is our practice squad that came out and supported us. There's too many of them. We were a better team because of this group. We had them come in on Fridays to scrimmage the A team, and it worked out fabulous because we just needed a little more competition. Sometimes in practices, we scrimmage our JV with them out here, and that's why we did what we did this year. So thank you guys. Next, I'm gonna call up each girl. All right, I'm gonna start with the 8th graders. I'm gonna bring them up. Kaylee Burek, our team cheerleader. She's always so enthusiastic and positive on the court. Sofia Pidcock, one of our 2 setters. She gets that second, much improved from last year. She went from the drop to a 2nd place team, so way to go, Sofia. Jessica Rosenblum, by far one of the best hitters we've had in a long time, and the other teams were a little bit scared of her, and she also is one of our best servers. Ava Chinchuli, she was our middle hitter. Once her confidence matches her height, there's no telling what she's going to do. Our 7th graders, Georgia Merchant, one of our best passers on the team, very consistent. Danny Stevens, again, passing was our game. So she was one of our best passers as well. Priya Sharma, this girl, 110%. I don't know how she does what she does. She's little, but mighty. And she also has, and it's crazy to see her overhand serve because she's so little, but she gets that ball over there and it's pretty good. And our last player, Charlotte Leroy. She's played 2 positions this year. We asked her to go from an outside to a middle and play wherever she needed. And she did with a big smile on her face. She's like, put me in, coach, wherever you need me, and she did. we'd have to kind of make sure she knew where she was because she'd be out of rotation sometimes, but she figured it out. And last, I'd like to bring up Faye Katz, our scorekeeper. And I also want to give a special shout out to Beatty and to Brianna Chinchulli because they helped us keep score a lot at the score table, so thank y'all. Oh, and Hannah says, me too. Hannah McDonough helped me out too, so thank you, Hannah. She gets a home shout out. So. All right. This is your our 2017 girls second place team up here. We're very excited about that. So yeah. I looked back at my records and I told them it was a few years and I didn't realize this till yesterday. Last year we were third, year before we were third, year before we were fourth, year before we were first. So this is pretty good. So it means a lot. Taking this team from the beginning of the season to where they are now, it's unbelievable. This year's team was a great group to work with. Our biggest wins were beating EDS at their place in 2 games, and by beating them in the 2 games, it helped us be the 3rd seed in the tournament. And then beating Alleluia in the semifinals, after losing to them twice in regular season, we were able to manage beating them in the semis to going out to the championship. So we were pretty excited. Our overall record was 6-6. I know Coach Hunt said, "Are you sure?" Because we thought we were a lot better than 6-6, but we were 6-6, going into the tournament as the 3rd seed and finally beating Alleluia to advance to the championships. We finished 2nd, losing to an undefeated St. Mary's. They're pretty solid. But this group never gave up. We worked point for point, and we ended up letting them have their undefeated season. So there you have it. This team improved in every aspect of the game from the beginning of the season all the way to the tournament. We essentially had a brand new A team from last year. We only had 2 players from last year's team back on this team. All of the teams I've coached, I feel this team came the furthest. Again, from the beginning of the season, it was a little rough. By the end of the season, we were receiving many compliments from the officials and the opposing coaches and officials in regards to how well our team passed. They were like, "I cannot believe how well they passed." And that, again, is the secret to our success. Priya did a great job helping me out, getting their switches. There's a little extra strategy going on in volleyball, and Priya was able to help me situate where everybody was because it gets a little complicated. We've got 6 people kind of not knowing where they're supposed to go. Jessica did a little bit last year, but she was able to lead by example and keeping us in the games with her big serve. Our serving continued to improve over the course of the season, only resulting in 2 chicken biscuit purchases this year. So that means they served 10 or more in a game. So that was what, Sofia and Kaylee? Yeah, my chicken biscuit, there we go. So hopefully we'll get more of those, but for me it was 2's good enough. The team was committed and came along as a team all through the season. I'm proud of what they've accomplished, and I'm already excited about next year for both the 8th graders going on hopefully to the high school and continuing their play, and the 7th graders finishing when we left off in Aiken. Award winners, every year it's always hard. They're unselfish, they're always doing what's best for the team. It was difficult. This year I decided to go with 2 Cavalier Awards. My first Cavalier Award goes to an 8th grader who's been in the program for all 3 years. This is her second season on the A team. She's a leader. She always leads by example. She's one of the most powerful hitters in the league. I'm glad she was on our team because I think she hurt some people. She by far had the highest kill percentage. She does whatever she needs to do. She gets it done. Whatever needs to happen, she's going to make it happen. She's one of the best serves. I will miss this young lady, but I'm really excited about seeing what she's going to do next year. My first Cap Award goes to Jessica Breslin. My second award, again, was hard. I decided to go with the 7th grader. Again, I don't know how she does what she does on that court. She's little, she makes things happen. She'll run into a bench to keep a ball in play. She's a competitor, always working to improve, very good listener. Sometimes maybe didn't get the credit she deserved, but she deserves everything she did. She started out as a hitter, and midway through the season, I noticed she had a pretty good touch on the ball, and I'm like, we need some help in setting. We need another setter. And I asked her, and she's like, "Sure, coach, I'll do it." And next thing you know, she was our setter. Became very consistent in it, and I'm excited about this lady next year because I have a setter, and it's Priya Sharma. is your second place volleyball team. CSRA, right here. Nice job, ladies. And Mrs. McCree, we miss you.
Next up, this gentleman does not need an introduction. Mr. Ryan Coe of middle school tennis.
Good morning. Well, I was all set beforehand to tell you how I loved serving as the tennis coach for this year and what a ball we all had that no one would match our season. But I didn't want any backhanded comments and create a racket. So I would just say we did very well. And we weren't hit this season. But seriously though, we really had a great time. I love coaching these kids and they really had a great season. Their calmness and incredible grit, winning those close matches gave us great results. The girls, first place champions of the league, the boys coming in runner-up. And the girl had an amazing record. They won 10-0, not losing a game at all. And the team champions, not only were the girls team champions, they were individual champions. Katie Duplantis beat out all the single girls in the league to be the singles girls champion. And our #1 doubles team, Sage Connolly and Julie Grutner, beat out all the girls in the doubles and became the doubles champions. So that's an amazing accomplishment for the girls. The boys' side, they did very well. They won a 7-3 record, and they placed second, and they almost didn't place second. It was down to the last match against St. Mary's, and we had lost to them previously, and it was down to 3 tiebreakers, and they won 2 of those tiebreakers with only 2 points to spare. So it was really amazing. Of course, we had to win 3 out of 5 matches, so we won that match, and because of that, we were in second place. And so that was a great accomplishment to see their grit. It was really thanks to Isaac Thomas, who came from behind to win that tiebreaker, and our 5th grade dynamic duo, Charlie Frost and Tim Grutner, to win 11-9. So here's the amazing story about the boys. We almost didn't have a team because we didn't have enough players, so thanks to the 5th graders who joined us, and it was truly, truly amazing. But all in all, there were many amazing moments this year on the courts, and it was just great to see them hang in there and just keep fighting. And I'm really proud of them for that, for both teams. And especially amazing was the amazing courts we had to play on that was totally refurbished. So thank you, Augusta Prep, for doing that. Everybody was very complimentary about that. All right, our girls team, Katie Duplantis, first seed. Remember her last year. She was a 5th grader. She played 8-0 record on doubles and then 2 years ago rather. And then last year she went 7-1, and this year she did not lose 1 match at all. Hannah McDonough, an unassuming force to be reckoned with. Wonderful season, a 5-5 record. Elizabeth Bender, assuming many different roles this season, playing mostly singles and doubles, rising from the ranks of 2nd doubles last year and playing 3rd singles this year, improving by the day. Hey Elizabeth, keep those feet moving. All right, first doubles. We had actually 3 players, Camille Mosier and Sage Connolly. They started their first match, but then Camille unfortunately had an injury. And so then we had Julia Grutner come take her spot. We call her the net meister. Nothing gets past her when she's at the net. Together with Sage, who I really think was a rabbit in previous life. I mean, she gets to everything. This duo was amazing. Hannah Ray and the alternates Maya Nussbaum and Radea Patel. They made up our 2nd doubles team. It was due to position shifts of injuries and absences, but we were fortunate we could use our alternates. And in their combination, they had 8 wins and 2 losses. And they both all improved exponentially. Gabriella Farmer, who practiced with us and took over the first alternate position, and always waiting in the wings to take over if anything happened. All right, for our boys team, Ryan Javahari, player with tremendous talent. I made immense progress. After each match, he'd be asking for pointers all the time, how to improve. He was very resourceful on and off the court. Ryan Marsh, tiebreaker man. He plays tiebreakers, he hates tiebreakers, but he had lots of tiebreakers to play, but he has the patience of a saint. He will rally with you until you crack. But sometimes he gives me this Atlanta Brave chop, it's pretty amazing. But, you know, with both these players with a name like Ryan, you know, you can't go wrong. And with three of us up here, it's a try-in situation. Pretty much. Okay, Sullivan Body, a gentleman's gentleman on the tennis court, a true Wimbledon candidate, awesome in both singles and doubles, his politeness and sportsmanship and demeanor, a really epitome of what a tennis player is, awesome playing. Jackson Gratz and Isaac Thomas, a double team is a go-getter. Isaac the thinker and the runner, coupled with Jackson the runner and the slammer. This duo overpowered opponents with decisive volley lobs and smashes to they didn't even know what hit them. And finally, Charlie Frost and Tim Grutner, doubles team that communicated impeccably. They were shouting to each other, mine, yours. They worked amazingly like a team, like a Swiss watch. It was totally amazing. And Charlie was in charge of ground strokes while Tim was the guy in the net putting shots away. Really great duo. Look out for them. All right, now the hardest part. For the girls team, the coach's award to someone who is very relentless in improving her game and has enthusiasm for the game that's truly infectious. She has poise and determination. Sage Connolly. The Cavalier Award goes to someone who is a true tennis athlete, who is humble, who is flawless, and really has a wonderful attitude. Katie Duplantis. For the boys team, this award goes to someone who has worked very, very hard this season, getting better and better. And unfortunately, on one of the matches, he had a foot injury, so he was kind of set back a little bit, but he was amazing attitude and always wanted to improve. The most improved award goes to Ryan Jalahari. And finally, the Cavalier Award goes to, goes to an amazing athlete who has great determination, really has an example of what a model teammate is, Jackson Gratz. And finally, I would like to thank Mr. Eustace, Mrs. McCready, Coach Holiday, Coach Holland, Mrs. Compton, the Booster Club for all their work, and last but not least, our tennis mom, Mrs. Duplantis, for all the hard work in getting all the magnets in the lockers, lunch for the players, and wonderful teachers you'll be seeing soon. So ladies and gentlemen, your 2017 girls champions and the boys runner-up tennis teams.
In closing here quickly, thank you very much everyone for a great full season. We're looking forward to basketball. Believe it or not, we'll have our first basketball contest on November 16th. After dismissal, we're going to ask that all our award winners please come up to the stage, and Mr. Sparks will get a quick photo shoot for our next edition of the AP Wire. Okay, parents, faculty dismissed. 8th graders dismissed.